you understand.
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
It's not enough. People are willing to take the risk. It's just sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now.
He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
Friends, the time for mediocrity in broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you were tuned in to the Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock. online at TonyJones.org, Facebook.com/TonyJonesShow, on the almighty Twitter at TonyJonesNRI, starting off with the sweet release, So Bad, the name of that one. Big show for you tonight. DJ Psycho Eddie is in the house. DJ Psycho Eddie, good
Hello,
evening.
Everybody.
And in studio, a band that we could call here on the Tony Jones Show repeat offenders of the program, because this band has been with me in every incarnation of the Tony Jones Show, following along with every incarnation of the Magunks. And we have James and we have Bob here. Gentlemen, good evening. Get a little cozier there with those microphones for me.
Best place you've been in, Tony. It's very plush. I can't believe that they give you such a big room.
Sadly, the crummier the neighborhood, the better the digs. And
We're way up high. Was this the 13th floor now?
that's how it goes now in broadcasting. You know, when we were,
Like Sirius Radio. We're like downtown.
I think you guys came through. You know, I was on way back in the day on a 50,000 watt AM station covering most of New England, and the studio was in fact a dump
The one on Dorset?
on North Main,
Okay.
990 AM.
Way back. Okay. Oh, shoot. Yeah.
I think even Nate Magunk came through with the Doll Eyes and did an acoustic set in that very studio.
Yeah, that was actually pretty big. It was just right near Empire Guitars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was 100 years ago. That
Spe-
might have been-
Speaking of 100 years ago, in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you a Magunks-related story that I think you're all going to enjoy. This happened.
Maybe we'll remember.
I just remembered it the other day, thinking of.
Tony's in the shower washing up, going, oh, that's where they were.
It involves Salem, Massachusetts, and it involves a very grumpy club owner who was just not nice to the bands that came through up there. And
Was it the Dodge Street? Dodge?
Exactly.
He looked like a big Muppet.
something very interesting happened, and I believe the statute of limitations is over for what happened. So I want to get to that in just a few minutes' time.
I think so.
You can find the Magunks online at magunks.com, facebook.com/magunks, and magunks.bandcamp.com. Now, Basement Albums is up on the Bandcamp in digital form, but physical copies not quite yet, right?
Not yet. Like this week, I just gave Tony a copy, like a burned copy with the Sharpie on it. But yeah, we got like real deal ones coming tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we're playing Saturday, and we want to have something. I don't want to have a record release show because that just sets you up for failure. Like, come to my record release party. Oh, look at me. It's like, no, hey, we got them now, and we'll probably give them to you. We'll try to sell them, but we're going to give them to you.
Right. You try to sell the first few to kind of like recoup funds, and then after that,
yeah, or just buy us a beer because we're going to take the money you give us from the CD, and I'm going to go right to the bar with it. just cut out the middle. Just buy me a beer or something.
So more with the Magunks. I'll tell you that interesting story from back in the day in just a few. We'll talk about the new EP. We'll talk about the shows coming up. Two big ones in November, but an even bigger one coming up in just about a week's time. So we'll get to that, and that's the important show, and that's where you can get your physical copy of Basement Anthems. But before that, we'll get back to the music now. Here are the Memphis Morticians. This one, Corpse Grindin' Baby. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show.
Call my baby, a body down the street. Got red behind him, she got the great dog face. Stop running, baby, she looking for friends, mate. Hello, honey, how do you do? How do you get? Nobody's blue. Stop running, baby, to make a meal of you. Things all ran from Romania, Red River, Pennsylvania. Seen her now, a lot of love in there. Keep the blues, lady baby. I don't know what I'm going back for more. Wow! in the car. Stop running, baby. Oh man, it's getting hot. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Coming out of two from the Evil Streaks right here on the Tony Jones Show. Chick Habit, the name of that one. Before that, The Cursed. And last time we chatted, I brought you into The Memphis Morticians, Corpse Grindin' Baby, the name of that one. Tony Jones here. You were tuned in to the Tony Jones Show. DJ Psycho Eddie is here. The McGunks in studio. We've added McGunks since we last chatted. Bobby is now here. Bobby, welcome. So you're just rolling in here from. Let's kind of flip formats and talk about. You were just out promoting your new book, which is not necessarily a new book because it's your first book, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's
What, Shakespeare?
it's so every Christmas since I was probably in my 20s, my mom would make me write a Christmas story, which she got the idea from the Kennedys because they'd make their kids do it. I'd pretty much wait till Christmas Eve every year and complain about it, and then give her something. And then this year for Christmas, I put it all in a book, and I sold 5 today.
Now I know a lot of independent. We're talking off the air. I also do audio books, so I know a lot of independent authors, and 5 books in one day is what some independent authors are doing in a year. So congratulations on that.
I knew all 5 people.
Still, that's that's still that's a big day in the world of anything independent, but especially in independent writing.
Sold 5 CDs yet.
Why are you such a dick?
We're trying.
It's all about you and your book. Go ahead, read a chapter. Let's get the fireplace going, Tony.
Fireside chats with the McGunks here on the Tony Jones Show. Well, I mean, that's kind of a perfect segue into, just a continued conversation about side projects, because when you walked in today, I now have in my hot little hand the new Hangovers album. So tell us a little bit about the Hangovers when you're not with the McGunks. What's going on with the Hangovers?
Sell 5 CDs.
Yes. We sold $81 worth of CDs last night.
Wow.
That's $81. We do a similar thing, the same thing that we do with the McGunks. We put a bin up there, and none of us wants to work the merch table,
right?
Because you feel like a tool. Do buy my CD, get my stuff. We work the honor system.
Yeah. We
put a little thing there. Pay us what you think it's worth, because we'll probably give this stuff away anyway. But if you put a couple bucks in, why not? And we made $81 worth of money last night, and I don't know how many we sold. The accounting process doesn't quite work, right? But we sold $81 worth of stuff. So it's all right. But yeah, Hangovers, it's very similar to the McGunks, more riff rock, a little more reverby, what you call it, a little different, but similar.
Why have you not mentioned Fabio yet?
And we have
That's part of your band.
We have a hype man. We have the most low-key hype man in the business. His name is Fabio. He introduces us, and he sits on stage with us. Kind of like the guy from the Boss Tones, except he doesn't do anything.
He will hold up the sign saying what song it is.
Because we blast through the song. He just holds up signs telling people what song it is. And his name is really Fabio Victorio. He's from Fall River, and he's lovable.
I'm just waiting for you guys now to open a bar using the same business plan.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's worth.
McGunk's Bar and Grill.
See, that might do all right.
At the end of the night, tell me what.
It was called Safari Lounge. It went well for a lot of years.
That's it. We have the Honor System Cafe.
We just get a bar where it's like coin operated. That's where it's.
I think they tried that down the way here. Pretty close.
They might as well have.
My favorite Safari Lounge story is being a young man, being in there, and something happened. I'm not even completely sure. I'm not completely sure what happened. There was some kind of a kerfuffle, some kind of a fight breaks out. So Jimmy, the owner, looks at me. He says, "Tony, watch the bar." He unscrews his cane, which has a sword inside, and chases the guy out the door. That was Safari Lounge security, a sword cane.
I think he got rid of that, and he eventually had a deer foot. It was a foot-long deer foot, and he would had a little rope in the end, so you could put it around his wrist and just pump someone with it. Because you go to the police, get these wounds. Say, a deer foot? You got attacked by? Come on, man! You didn't get hit by a deer foot.
He was
at the Safari. All right, maybe you did.
Safari Lounge is also right at the cusp where they made smoking indoors illegal, so it was illegal to smoke at the bar, but Jimmy, the owner, still smoked in the bar because in his summation, in his feelings, it was his bar. He could smoke there. So
no one was going to tell him.
No. He would smoke a pipe in there. Smoking indoors was illegal at the time, and he would just I guess he felt that he was grandfathered into the Safari Lounge.
He was.
Nobody ever stopped him, right? We're going to go back to the music now. I did not forget to tell you about my Magunk story from back in the day, so we'll probably get to that after this block of music. And, of course, we'll talk about the big show the Magunks have coming up on October 21st at the Met in scenic, lovely Pawtucket, Rhode Island. But before that, a little bit more music here on the Tony Jones Show. Melissa and the Liberators up next for you. This track is called All Used Up. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show.
Don't try to take
Some senior discount right here on the Tony Jones Show. Chuck is a fellow podcaster, and the Chuck and Brad Agreeing to Disagree podcast has their Halloween show coming up on October 25th at the Comedy Connection. Be sure to check that out. Before that, we heard from the Pixels, Memory Boy, and then last time we chatted, I brought you into some Melissa and the Liberators, All Used Up, the name of that one. You were tuned in to the Tony Jones Show. DJ Psycho Eddie is here. The Magunks are here talking about a big show coming up on October 21st at the Met, where you can get your physical copies of their new EP, 7-song EP, Basement Anthems. Now, you can get it now if you are into the newfangled computers at magunks.bandcamp.com, or you can wait until the 21st and head over to the Met. Tell us a little bit, whoever wants to talk about it, tell us a little bit about the show on the 21st.
Yeah, we're playing with World Inferno Friendship Society and Cactus Attack. Mike Del Hante from
We
the
don't
Met.
fit in the lineup. We are the date rape at the Lilith.
I've been a big fan of World Inferno for a while, so I was excited. It's funny, Mike sent me a message one day. He said he's got them coming. He said, do you know any bands that would want to play? So I sent him a couple names, and then I'm like, not to be selfish, my dogs would like to play too. So he said he had to run it by the band, and apparently they said yes. So.
They approved us. You can't see what I was doing. I'm trying to be super quiet here. I'm moving stuff around.
He's recycling.
Well, fortunately, this is internet radio, so you can crack open a beer on the microphone.
True, yeah.
Can I do it with
I don't think it doesn't make the same.
Oh, so this is internet.
It doesn't have the same sound effect when you when you open a can. It really just has that guttural sound. It's not the same when you open a bottle.
Like Friday about 5:30. Sweet
5:30
release.
a.m.
Yeah. Work. Just one more day of work.
So, as I was doing some research here, just painstaking show prep, I was trying to figure out just exactly how long the Magunks have been around for. Now, some sources told me 2003, but other sources told me since the late 90s.
No, 2003. That is a definitive
That is
answer.
the actual,
That is the actual
timeline answer.
It was August 2003 because we were in the USM. Me and Johnny Stone were in the USM, and we all quit collectively in 2003 on one day, and we had nothing to do.
The next day for band practice.
The next day, I got tired of lead singers. I cannot deal with lead singers. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I had a white Les Paul on layaway. I went down and said, can I use the money I have put down for this Les Paul? Can I use that to buy a PA? So I went and bought a PA. I said, I'm going to sing. I don't want to deal with singers anymore. I don't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff. So I went and bought the PA.
The world has been a worse place ever
Yeah,
since.
I bought the PA. Then maybe 7 years later, I bought the Les Paul again. So hey, it's all
And
good.
did the USM have a reunion, a brief reunion a few years back?
We did. We played again. Hatchets were buried. I like the band. I like being a side guy guitar player as well. I'm very good at that. I can be off to the side. I consider myself more of a guitar player than a singer by any sense of the sense of the word, sense of the mean.
He's not a wordsmith. We've established that.
Okay, Shakespeare. It's Christmas Eve and all the stockings were hung. Yeah. What the hell?
So
Whatever. Just finish without.
And I was also trying to figure out how many members of the Magunks do you think have come and gone over the years?
Count it. I could probably by the next break I could count it.
Yeah,
out.
I did design it once. I wanted Nate to do a better job of it with a Magunk family tree, where Bob's the bark, which kind of has the one eye, and then
the bark with one eye.
And then I know there's 3 drummers. I don't remember how many basses or guitars, but I did it all out. And even Pete, who was in the band twice, I had like a little offshoot branch of that.
A little sprout.
And now you could also, I assume, with that same project, map out other bands that have started, spin-off bands from the Magunks, right?
Well,
They'd be the Hangovers.
For a while, there was guys were leaving the band and getting famous. Like Mike Gurley left, went back to Darkbuster.
Right.
Went on tour with the Dropkick Murphys and doing all that. Joey Riot left. He joined the Ducky Boys. They went off and did great stuff. I'm like, I felt like the Toledo Mud Hens. I was like the farm league for greatness. I'm like, oh, everyone's picking my guys. Why don't you pick me? I'll play in your band. You know?
What about Bob?
Yeah. Since then, the level of talent he's had join the band has dropped significantly. Prevent that from happening.
Yeah, that bar has.
Well, I mean, to that point, you know, you have had the chance to open for bands that I would assume, would consider yourselves to be fans of or were fans of, and then you get to open for them. Talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. We got to play with Two Cow Garage, who were very.
Yeah, I think we played with them enough to we're actually friendly with them.
Yeah.
So that's always cool.
We got to play with the Super Suckers, who I'm a big fan of. Their music. They're not the nicest guys. Well, the last time we played with them last time right over there.
Yeah, right down the hall here.
And actually, Eddie Spaghetti's like, hey, we played with you guys a couple times. You got some pretty good songs. And I took that. I'm like, well,
yeah, that's cool.
And I took that for what it was worth. And that's all you can really ask for. But, yeah, they're not always the nicest guys. They're always looking for, hey, you know anybody who's got any this or that? No, I'm not into that. I drink beer, and that's all I do.
Well, it's all about the local connections, right? Whether it's for gigs or for other stuff.
Yeah, gigs,
yeah, I played with Teenage Bottle Rocket, Reverend Horton Heat. We played with this band Continental a lot.
Yeah.
What is happening here, Tony? Everyone's ignoring the fact that something is happening.
Oh, I thought Tony was doing this. I thought it was you. You're giving this some.
Now, there are two theories as to what's going on. Number one, there is a possibility that this building is haunted.
Yeah, yep.
What more likely is happening is the hippies that live downstairs. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
They don't live there because we...
No, I'm pretty sure they live there. Yeah.
Okay, they live there. The hippies that are downstairs are probably high as hell and are just...
Hippies?
Can you swear on internet radio?
No, because we're safe for work.
We have to keep PG-13. But yeah, they're pretty messed up down there, and they...
PG-13, you can say the F word twice.
Once per hour.
Come on, that's a hippie rule.
It is once per hour for PG-13.
There's a rule for that.
There is a rule for that.
There's nudity in 80s PG movies, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had those huge bushes back then, so you didn't see anything. It's like me when I'm naked. You don't actually see any nudity.
That shows less than the big censor bar.
Well, let's get back to the music now, and then when we come back, I'll finally tell this story regarding my old band, the Gauners, and the Magunks in Salem, Massachusetts. It's pretty interesting. It doesn't actually incriminate anybody here. We were just part of the action. Up next, we're going to hear two from Blindside Thunder, starting off with She Wants Sex, right here on The Tony Jones Show.
Kiss me hard and left wants sex. She wants sex.
Coming out of 2 from our old friends Blindside Thunder, Tequila, the name of that one. Then before that, She Wants Sex. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show. DJ Psycho Eddie is here. The Magunks are here. And I believe we mathematically have found out how many Magunks have been over the long history of this band. So
16. And that's counting Bob. 3 drummers, 6 guitarists, 6 bassists. And we didn't count Pete twice, so
I think you should make that family true. I've seen it for like the Damned and other bands where they've gone through and mapped out the whole history of the band and the offshoots of other bands that have kind of taken place.
Yeah, I'll try to get Nate on it. He's a much better artist than I am. Since I'm a terrible artist, he's a really good one.
Bobby's a writer now. He's award-winning, Nobel Prize-winning writer.
So I know I've been talking about it all hour, and we're almost out of time. So I guess I better get to it. I was thinking about the Magunks today as I was doing my show prep, and I thought
in the shower.
This
is when most people think of the Magunks.
He's swiping the soap between his butt like a credit card.
And I was thinking about a show we played way back in the day. I was in an old band called the Goners. The Magunks played. I believe at the time it was For What It's Worth. And there's another band, a now defunct band, that was also part of this show, and we'll leave the name out because they're the perpetrator of this action, this story-related action. So it was a place called the Dodge Street Bar and Grill, and I think it's something else now. And I think this owner is long gone. Okay, it's the gone.
It's like totally like you can't. There's no existence. It was
wow.
The earth has been scorched.
So that we don't have to worry about any lawsuits.
No, yeah, it's gone.
So you had the restaurant in the front, you had where the bands played in the back, and then there was this offshoot of where the bands played. It was like kind of like a green room dressing room, but also in that green room dressing room was slow boiled food. So chili, pasta sauce back there on a slow boil for the day in these big vats. So we played a show. Not too many people showed up, as is the world of punk rock. We're sitting in this back room, and the owner comes out, and he just starts berating all the bands. You guys didn't draw anybody. We didn't make any money. You all suck. So the drummer of the nameless band was not too happy about that altercation. Just finished his set, and for any drummer that's doing it right, he was covered in sweat by the end of his set, takes off his tennis shoe and puts it in the vat of chili and pushes it all the way down his sweaty drum set tennis shoe in the vat of chili, and I know for certain that this vat of chili was served later on the evening because I saw them switch them out, bring the new vat out, and we're serving that chili for the rest of the night. So
that guy just went home with one shoe?
I guess he just I think they were more local, so maybe it was easier for him to hop out on one foot, and he donated to the owner his sweaty shoe.
Yeah. That kid's a menace.
The silence is deafening right now.
What was that name? I can't think of the name. He's been in a bunch of bands. That's a kid that I've known forever, and like I knew him for years and years and years, and all of a sudden he turned 21. I'm like, dude, you're 21 now? I've been drinking with you for like 5 years.
Yeah. Actually, we were talking earlier in the hour about Safari Lounge, and I had that same conversation with Jimmy when Safari Lounge closed down. I'm just like, Jimmy, I've been coming here for 10 years. And he said, yeah, you've been a great customer. I said, I'm only 25. Do the math, brother.
I remember in high school I played there, and I was working at Stop and Shop. I told a guy that I was working with, I'm playing Safari Lounge. He goes, I used to drink there all the time before I turned 21.
Oh, these kids don't even know how good we had it.
I wish there were venues like that.
No, if we had a venue like that now, every kid that was 18 years old who got their first beer would go and post it on social media.
Yeah.
And the place would be closed down in a week.
Yeah. Exactly. I got served my first beer. I think it was 19. It was Mama's Metro down in Providence. I just walked in there, went with a friend of mine.
Wait, hold on. So you're 47 now? Is that 28 years? Is that enough time?
This was last century.
I don't want you to get
yeah, you should be good.
This was last century.
So long ago, he had to make his own beer.
I just walked Okay, but it was during the day. You know, friend, we went to Axelrod Music. Remember Axelrod?
My first beer, Charlie's Cherries, across from Classical High School.
I don't know what that is.
It's gone now. It's a strip club in the ghetto.
That's a great name for a strip.
And we loved it. So we're starting to run out of time here. So one more time, tell us about the new EP and tell us about the show coming up on the 21st.
The EP's out now, pretty much. If you go to Bandcamp, you can pay whatever you want. It's more important to us that you listen to it and download it. Doesn't matter how much money we make. I was surprised. We have had a few people actually give us money for it, which is great, and thank you. But
yeah, if it was about the money, I would have been out of this a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true.
15 years, 16 guys. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
We lose.
Yeah, and I mean, that being said, they get and spend money on the show. And I mean, we're not even expecting money on the show. We just want people there. Spend money on the venue. So we're playing the 21st at the Met with World Inferno Friendship Society, Cactus Attack. I think it starts at 9? And we're on first.
And the Met is very big. They
Yep.
let you bring your loud amp in and let you play it as loud as you want because that's what rock and roll bands do. Me and Tony off air were talking about how he's got a guitar player who likes to bring all the amps.
Yeah.
I want to bring all the amps. It's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to be dirty. And
it'll be loud and dirty on the 21st.
It's always loud and dirty in Pawtucket, right?
Yeah, it's in Pawtucket. It's our hometown. We rehearse about 2 miles around the corner, and the Met's always been great, and they actually know how to do sound there. Like the monitors work.
Yeah.
Like Tony, have you ever had a monitor work?
No, it's just taking up space.
You want any more on the monitor? No, forget it. Just forget it. None of them ever. No one can seem to get a monitor to work.
Actually, the only time I've had a monitor work was when this man right here was doing sound for me, like personally, and therefore.
But it never works.
But not at an actual club.
No, it's
Yeah.
just people are just too lazy. Yeah, most of them just use it as a divider between the band and the crowd. If you
Something to put your foot up on, Steve Harris.
If you care a little bit about doing sound, those monitors work quite well.
Yep. And we played last night at the Cove. Teddy up there.
Great job there, yeah.
He does a great job with monitors. I will turn my amp down a little bit for him because I trust him.
Yep.
Okay, but he asks him for it in the monitor. It's there. And then now, if I do get some monitors, it's like, oh, that's what I sound like.
I need a Ricola.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like looking in a mirror. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
oh God.
I got one mirror in my house. It's itty bitty. I just comb my hair. There's a little bit of the hair. I just comb this a little tuft to the side. There you go. I'm all set.
The Cove also has a great lighting setup and a great fog machine. You don't see fog machines many places anymore.
Dude, quick, I'll tell the story real quick.
Okay.
The fog machine they turned on last night, I think the button got stuck, or the last band brought fans and they put them on the stage to cool them down. For some reason, we were engulfed in smoke, and it's got that smell.
Yeah.
I was just engulfed in
It
it.
just seeps in your lungs.
I couldn't see anything. I was like, I was coughing it up, which brings me to another quick story.
It's like a Cheech and Chong movie.
Way back in the early 90s, I was playing in a band, and we played a place in Bourne, Massachusetts, just over the bridge called The Approach. It was they had they were trying to get some bands in there. We were playing there and they had a smoke machine, and the bass player in the band saw the smoke coming out of it. He was a big smoker, so he leaned over and took a hit off the smoke machine, almost
Times
knocked
are
him
tough.
on his ass, and he's like breathing out this goddamn smoke.
It's the original dab.
And he was sick for all night. But what made you think that was a good idea?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, we're just about out of time. Go to magunks.com, facebook.com/the Magunks, on Bandcamp, magunks.bandcamp.com. And as you guys said, name your own price if you're interested in downloading the new EP.
Zero's preferable.
And
You want to get it into your hand.
That's quite a name.
That's all it's about.
And don't forget to check these guys out on October 21st at the Met, and then in November the 18th they'll be at the Midway, and then back in Pawtucket on November 22nd at the News Cafe. With that,
Day before Thanksgiving.
that's a great night to go out. That is the new Year's Eve.
With Black Letter and We Own Land, too.
Yeah, a bunch of guitar bands, so I'm gonna have to practice a little bit.
Yeah, but pretty much, for probably about $30, you can see all 3 shows, and all 3 shows are really good.
That's that's the way to keep what we all know and love going. And
it's actually closer to 24.
With that, we are just about out of time. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out. Next week, Travis Landry will be here where we're talking all things comics, collectibles. You don't even know him. Thank you guys again. DJ Psycho Eddie, thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to leave you with a little bit of Morris and the East Coast to wrap up this week's Tony Jones Show. I Lost My Telephone, the name of this one. Bye, everybody. Bye.
See you.
James, you gotta quiet down. He's new. You know.
remember what I ate for lunch. I swear that I ain't crazy, just a quirky kid. I think it runs in my family, yeah. This time is the last straw. God went and lost my drawer. They were there last time I checked, but now I'm leaking and upset. Lost my telephone. I lose everything now. Forget everything I know. Whoa. Lost my goddamn